was a tough night for Kamala Harris. I am sure she woke up this morning feeling a bit despondent. Well, maybe. Kamala Harris is so clueless, it is entirely possible she thought those boos raining down on her in Iowa last night were people expressing their approval of her performance as pretend vice president. This morning, it might have been tough for our favorite cackler, but it's been a great morning for me personally. I woke up this morning feeling great. Seems like I am finally getting over the flu. I apologize if the videos the past few days this week haven't been up to my usual standards. I was doing the best I could, but it's kind of difficult to think clearly when your mind is in a fog and your entire body is aching. It's all good though. All good. I am back to feeling 100%. Now all I need to do is figure out a way to get out of this slump here on YouTube, which obviously I don't have any control over. I don't know what's been going on with YouTube lately. The last few weeks, I don't know. I mean, viewership has dramatically declined, not just on my channel. It seems viewership is down across the entire platform. I consider myself to be lucky that my views are only down around 20%. Now that is a testament to all of you guys who continue showing up every day. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Typically, 25% of my views come from my subscribers, while 75% comes from YouTube recommending my content to other people. Right now, it's about 50-50. I see channels triple my size getting like 2,000 views per video. I know there have been some policy changes and updates here on YouTube. Maybe that is what is affecting the algorithm. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But it's all good. It's all good. The bills are being paid. I am blessed to have an audience that is willing to stick by me through these tough times. I appreciate you guys so much, but enough of all that. Let's get down to business. We often talk about authenticity here on the channel. More specifically, the rampant lack of authenticity prevalent throughout the mainstream media and public figures. For some reason, there is this belief that we can't handle the truth. We are often treated like children by the mainstream media and people in positions of authority. Last night, we were given the perfect example of what I'm talking about by one of the biggest offenders of treating adults like children, our lovely Vice President, Kamala Harris. Oh, cackling Kamala. Kamala Harris is a proud graduate of Woke U. When she graduated 40 years ago, they didn't call it Woke U, they called it Howard University. Howard University is classified by the federal government as an HBCU, historically black colleges and universities. Now you would think the origins of this school had African American roots, right? Obviously, the school is named after some dude named Howard, but who was he? The school was named in honor of Oliver Otis Howard, a Union general in the Army during the Civil War. Now imagine my surprise when I discovered that an HBCU was named after the evil white man. I mean, to be fair, I am sure there are others. I just thought it was ironic. The vice president, known for her dedication to diversity, equity, and inclusion, graduated from an historically black college named after a white dude. I mean, you can't make this shit up. Last night, Kamala Harris was in attendance to support her alma mater during the first round of March Madness. The Howard campus of Woke U, they were facing Kansas. They came into the game as a 22-point underdog. About halfway through the second half, with Kansas up 17 and well on their way to covering the number, Kamala Harris was introduced to the crowd on the Jumbotron. Now, this game, like I said, was taking place in Iowa. According to our in-touch vice president, the state of Iowa is located right in the center of Kamala country. Oh, they love me here. When I was a Native American, I used to dream of making the voyage to my homeland. I have finally made it. Mrs. Vice President, I thought you were born in Oakland. Also, the term Native American is offensive. You're right. You're absolutely right. I apologize. But to answer your question, I come from the Raiders tribe of Guardians. Considering how popular Mrs. Harris is in Iowa, you would figure the hometown crowd would welcome her with overwhelming praise. But That was not the case. The boos were so loud, Joe Biden thought he was at a campaign rally, which is understandable, I suppose. Our president, he often gets confused with these difficult scenarios like understanding where he is. All kidding aside, though, credit should be given to the young men playing for Howard University. They made actual history, at least for their school, by being the first team to make it to the NCAA Tournament, not to be confused with March Madness, which, according to the mainstream media, is the name of the women's tournament. When you're in a competitive sport like basketball and you make it to this level, you expect to win the title. Howard went 22-13 this season. Not a great record, but they did win their conference tournament, which got them the invite to March Madness. Now, I would be willing to bet there was not one player in that locker room last night that did not believe they were title contenders. I am sure these young men expected to win. You come in with these high hopes, these high expectations. You're playing in front of the biggest audience you've ever played in front of, and more than likely, these kids will never play in front of an audience this size again. Not only are your dreams crushed on a national stage, you were completely humiliated. You got your ass kicked. Now, there's a reason I lay all this out. If you're Kamala Harris and you're speaking to the team right after the game, you got to be able to read the room. This isn't the time for lectures. It's not the time for the rainbows and cucumbers speech. It's not the time to pretend like what just happened didn't actually happen. What does Kamala Harris do? Watch for yourself.
You guys are so good. You guys are so good. You played hard. You played to the very last second. You made all us Bisons so proud. You hustled out there. You are smart. You are disciplined. You put everything you had into the game. And you know, that's what it's about, right? Until the last minute. You guys did that. You didn't stop until the last second. You did not stop. And that is so inspiring. So you keep playing with chin up and shoulders back. Because you showed the world who Bison are. Right? I mean, literally what you have done is in historic proportion. You know, I was at Howard back in the day where we were just happy that there was a game, much less getting to this place, right? And I see Bison literally all over the world, and we've been talking about you, this team, you all, this team, this year, this team. You make us so proud. So I know you may not be feeling great right now, okay? But know who you are. You are excellence. You are hard work. You are powerful. And you are winners. All right? So please know that. Please know that. And I'll see you later.
First of all, did you notice when she walked in the room, there was maybe one player that was clapping? I saw her staff clapping. I saw her doofus husband clapping and smiling. Hey, look at me. My wife is pretend vice president. Life is great. Want to share a cucumber? The rest of the kids in that locker room, they couldn't give a shit less. The first minute or so of this speech was absolutely cringe. It is the definition of being clueless. At least Alicia Silverstone, towards the end of Clueless, actually got the clue. Kamala Harris is going on 3 years as vice president, and she still thinks the fossil fuels are the cause for the weather heating up every summer. You guys played hard. You played until the very last second. Yeah. You see, it's called a basketball game. In college basketball, there are 40 minutes of regulation. Players don't stop playing until those 40 minutes expire. This is not the WNBA where games are decided by gender identification contest when the dump divers experience exhaustion after 5 minutes of play. If I didn't give you any of the context, removed the video footage from that clip, and just played the audio for you, you would have thought Kamala Harris was speaking to a group of third graders. The first minute of that speech, she was almost talking down to these young men. And I don't mean in like a condescending way. I mean she was insulting their intelligence. She called their performance inspiring, which is complete bullshit, and these young men know it's bullshit. No disrespect to the young men on this Howard basketball team, but let's just be real here. That was not an inspiring performance. Losing by 28 points is not what I call inspiring. But in this woke utopian world Kamala Harris is living in, you're a winner just for showing up. You're a winner because you played until the game was over. That's inspirational. That's what winners do. They compete. No, you know what winners do? They win. Getting bounced in the first round of March Madness, that does not make you a winner. I know this is not a popular thing to say in the community of wanker spankers. There's only one winner in this tournament. There can only be one champion. The other 63 teams are losers. I know that sounds harsh, but the truth is, reality is often harsh. The real world is harsh. It's tough. There are no moral victories in real life. Kamala Harris, she tried to spin this into a moral victory. She tried lying to these kids. You guys really showed the world who bison are. Oh yeah? Well, if that's the case, it was not a good showing. Kamala Harris, she is being destroyed by conservative media for this speech, and rightfully so. The first minute of this speech was absolutely horrendous. But like I always say, this is not an agenda-driven channel. Most conservative media outlets, they are only focusing on the negatives throughout the first minute. I did not think the last 45 seconds or so of this speech was that bad. If Kamala Harris had just said that and left the fake happiness out of it, this speech would have been fine. I'm talking about the parts where she said these young men should be proud of themselves, that Howard alumni across the country, they were talking about and excited about this team. How when she went to Howard, they were excited just to have a game to attend. Now their team playing in the NCAA Tournament. I thought that portion of the speech was authentic. It was real, but she completely ruined it with the fake bullshit in the first minute. You could almost sense the change in her tone of voice. It's like Kamala Harris has this switch. She has the fake tone of voice, then her authentic tone. Why not just keep it authentic all the time? Give me your thoughts. Kamala Harris delivers a dreadful speech right after Howard University was humiliated on national television. Did you notice the same thing I did? Was the second half of her speech more authentic, while the first half was complete trash? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.